Welcome guys, in today's video we're gonna go into the focus. So we'll be exploring focus, the different aspects of them, the combinations, aka the names, their origins, and my new ideas for focus themselves. So let's begin. Let's first answer what are the focus combinations names. Gint is the color combination without white. Dune is the color combination without blue, and which is the color combination without yet. Your is the color combination without green, and ink is the funny name because it's the color combination called ink, but there's no back in it. That's the funny thing about it. Moving on. Let's move on to how did they get the particular names like ink, gint? How did they get the names? So it's a Ravnica story, probably butchered that improperly, but I think it's from Return to Ravnica, but I have the exact cards. These are the oldest cards themselves. They're very weak, but Gint, Yor itself, they're not really powerful or that much good cards. You can utilize them. I actually have Gint for deck, but you can't really do much. They're a bit more weaker compared to recent cards, so they're all knifelings itself. The story base goes, but is that there was walks in Ravnica. They were doing walks, and then they uncovered these knifelings itself. If you want to have more detailed video, look up the knifelings. But this is basically the gist of the Orsons. We'll be going into a lot of the factions and that, and just the general falsy aspect of them all. So this is just the other two, and this is the last one for the Orsons. Who are falsy? This is the debatable question because people have so many different ideas itself on what falsy is. It's not like Rakdos with duo, or it's not like tie, like swords or wedges that have a full-on identity that's built into them or philosophy. Fuzzy's a bit awkward. Funny enough, there's more 5 color cards than there's 4 color cards. So normally it boils down to either oppose a color or 1% full of them. These are the only two things that it normally falls into the category of. But I think it more goes into the opposing of a color. So these are 5 that I picked that I think best represent of them or roughly itself. So we have a Bella to represent. I can't forget now it's your. And this is it's not Dune. Forgive me if I forget the names of them. I'm banking out at the moment. But yeah, these are 2 of the combinations themselves that best represent the color. Now, that's Wits and that's Gint itself. Uh, Funny thing about Wits is that they come more into like Phyrexians are the best one. There's like 2 Phyrexians that represent this card the most. Wits, which is interesting itself. But yeah, most of the cards, like 3 of them at least, I think, are just basic human soldiers. So this is the only for Dune. There's not really any interesting creatures, any interesting look to Dune. Yeah, the Dune, I think. Yeah, it's Dune. So yeah, overall, not really any interesting look. My new ideas for Falsy Fact. So these are my new ideas. Starting off with Gint. My idea for Gint is a faction about Stand to Chaotic Discovery itself. Well, Yeah, and then they dislike war, order, and medicine as they believe those concepts hurt more, so they often oppose to those concepts. But ha- the funny thing is, sometimes with like opposing a core, that idea, they don't have to truly embody every single folklore. So there's a lot of interesting interpretations about the folklores that people have said. I'm not covering them all, but this is just a deep dive itself. Another thing, it could just be chaos for Gint. So Gint will have my idea for like a design. We have a monstrous chaotic design that don't fully make sense. So not the Adarcy, but similar concept. Is not like cosmic horror. It's like someone modified so much of themselves or so monsters that you can barely recognize the person, like a Cyberman, but organic, like they change the body. So one idea for Gin is to have not a single species to define Gin, but of nightmares, weird walking creatures. Maybe eyes or mouth could be the only thing left of the original person. So that's Gint itself. Dune. At first I was having problems with Dune, but I think I have a more better version of Dune, which is the facts about rootless tradition as they both fight each other and dominate others in order to see who becomes the strongest. And they see pain is a tool for Aldorni to be the leader. Sorry for the misspelling. They oppose Boo as all they seek is control and want to change the tradition that bonds us. So Boo they see as a threat because Boo is logic itself. They're like, this tradition is not gonna you're gonna end up eating yourself. Because Boo is smart in this case because Boo sees Dune will soon start to eat itself alive. So Boo's trying to help them break away from their traditions in a smart way, but they're so cut like that they're so intertwined with it. The other thing is why they oppose Boo is because Wits in a smart bit because they see those who seek knowledge doomed like the forbidden fruit of knowledge. So the Garden of Eden is very important to this faction. So this group might be for people one moment unified, the next backstabbing each other to show who is boss. So let's continue on this. The next group is Wits. I think this folklore, just to say my thoughts, I think it's very represented good with the Fexians, but we'll go into that itself. But my interpretations of a faction is we must warn from all things around us and control ourselves and others for the betterment of mankind. If we become chaos or very emotional, we must die. Negative emotion and chaos will be the death, so we oppose the Korea. Everything must be apart from the wise ones or Mother Nature herself. So basically, the most against emotion because we'll get into that for the sec. But this was a general negative emotion. But what I'm hinting towards is the theme of perfection or the reason it can be explored. How can this be explored, and what's the consequences of opposing your own and other emotions? Do people become oppressed because they are not allowed to express the culture? So who is truly allowed to express the culture? So like there's like two cards that are Phyrexian answers kind of things that we got. I showed you one because I want to give one example. But yeah, I think this for the most part is the best represented of the colors, I think. Yeah, but there's not really much focal cards, to be honest. There's more 5 colors, so focal is not really given a chance at all. So yeah. Next is your. I really like this idea I came up with your because it makes your very unique. But my idea is this wizard's court that has a hierarchy based on sound. So whoever sounds the closest to God is reader. They are cyborgs and both hate and envy nature. They both see nature as something as holding them back from greatness and nature being threat to them. They miss what they used to be like. Nature's no felt order. So they have my imagination for these kids is that they're very they oppose nature, but at the same time they can't help but mimic nature with their sounds. Yeah, just I have idea of having them have complicated relationship with nature itself. Like at one hand they want it to be destroyed, and then there's a part of them that is still kinda but their envy and the hatred prevent them from being five cores. So my mechanics and design of your I'm thinking of it is sounds like Echo Echo. In Ben 10 there's a Echo Echo, there's ultimate Echo Echo, but it has all these circle kind of designs. I really like this image. I like the other on top of all, but I get the idea. I'll probably if I was designing magic cards, I'll probably change up, but yeah, I like the idea itself. But yeah, they also my idea is that they sacrifice the weak because they kind of the more they destroy nature, the more they kind of sacrifice themselves to the weakest too. Like in order for them to live, so they choose what is food kind of thing. So I get interesting design. Moving on, there's ink. We must all be in harmony with our emotions and work towards a better world for all beings, no matter how small. Black brings out the worst of us and does not care who he hurts. We shall work together, not apart. So they're scared of making immoral sacrifices in order for peace. That's how I can see them. So the morality cards that like they're all different elements. They're scared of doing sacrificing for self, like so they have potential, I think, but we get to that. But yeah, elementals I think are just perfect for ink. I can't imagine anything else. I just told this card is like my favorite for it. I don't know, so elementals just seem to go very well for focus itself. So I think this will be more elementals for focus. So I think inks are the most likely to become arcos because I feel like they want to bring out peace. Well, going into 5 cores fast 3 months because that could be a future video. I think their unwillingness to like make any sacrifice for to be in harmony is kind of holding them back. Like, not completely go all, but like there's some choices that they kind of have to make difficult a more decision. But I think they might be the most likely to become five because they oppose her. But there might be a time where they've all like, wait a minute, black may be a way for us via all cause we could been harmony and understand more better more better ways. So you could there's a lot of interesting ways you could explore ink itself. But yeah. Overall, my final thoughts. Focus are fascinating. The problem with focus is that the original focus I like them but they're very weak as hell. There's not really any mechanics to do with focus. Like sound for your would be cool, like artificial sound. But yeah, I think there could be some fun experimenting. I could do more of these videos in the future where I dive into one specific Forcey faction and come up with many ideas. Maybe there'll be some that'll be harder to make. Like, let's go back for a sec. Let's go back. Rewind. Let's go back to Dune was very hard to make, to be honest. So skip ahead. Dune itself was the hardest because it was just too simple. So like at first I had the idea of like connecting to madness and stent or something like that. But I just didn't like they opposed Boo, but it wasn't really strong enough. So I had to rework that. Your originally was not good either, but my rework of it I'm very proud of because they're like the reason for for not liking Gene is because the dinosaurs. There's a reason like the god kills the dinosaurs. Not so I was like, "Ah, I don't really like this, but like that one card in particular, like I just kind of liked. I kind of vibed to that card. But yeah, the original Foci cards is very hard to have like a team for the Foci that it comes up with itself. But yeah, overall, I think it was fun exploring the focus. This is just the beginning of the exploration. Like, focus or five cores aren't we discussed that much. Chorus is kind of explored, but yeah, I think it can be interesting on like how focused though. Vexians, I think, do the best job of someone with this, like philosophy. I think, although there's more into time with like the Vexian God damn it, philosophy overall, but there is a lot of room for like redevelopment. There's some factions that would be harder. I mentioned Dune. Ink, I think, is alright itself, but yeah, I will love to hear what you guys have to, because there's a lot of people's interpretations on it. Like, but yeah, I probably might make a video in the future of part two, but I'll probably be moving on to another type of video, but we'll see on how it goes because like jumping around with different ideas. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and peace out. Take care.